Masters of the Universe, an objectively good movie, completely bombed at the box office this past weekend. And well, it's Hollywood's fault. What's rockin' my rock and roll? Today's video is going to be talking about the unfortunate news that Masters of the Universe has completely bombed at the box office this past weekend. The weekend is released. And how, people are trying to say, oh, who's to blame? And well, it's Hollywood. They are the only ones to blame. It's themselves. So let's get right into it. So I already did my Masters of the Universe review. Check out my last video. I loved it. I thought it was super fun. I had no connection to the cartoon or anything, so I kind of went in just wanting a good movie, fun, entertaining movie, and I got that. And unfortunately, there were rumors that, let me pull this up just so I'm ready. There were rumors that it was tracking to bomb at the box office, and I was praying that word of mouth could help it, which it still can. At the time of this recording, it's Tuesday, June 9th, so it's only been out for less than a full week, so maybe, the second weekend goes up a little bit. Maybe, hopefully, we can hope. But as of right now, so as of Tuesday, it has made $31.5 million domestically, $25 million internationally, and for a total of $56.5 million worldwide, against a budget. Oh, I did not. Box Office Mojo does not have the budget. Sorry, I'm checking my my camera battery. Okay, so Masters of the Universe has a reported production budget of $200 million. So, I thought it was like 170. It's actually a little bit higher than I thought. So $200 million. It's made a quarter of that, so 55. We'll do a little bit of rounding. This says it would need to do $400 million to break even, and that's not gonna happen. And it's not, the funny thing is, it's not just this movie. So I think this movie is unfortunate because it's actually a good movie. But if you look at another movie that came out recently, and that is The Mandalorian and Grogu. Let me pull it up. Who loves Star Wars now. So that has made, so far, been out for 3 weeks. It's made $156.8 million domestically, $137.8 million internationally, for a total of $294.6 million worldwide. I think the budget was like $170 million, I think I read, which that's what Disney's saying. So, but yeah, for a Star Wars movie to make, it might not even break 300. Well, that's only 6 million to go, so it'll probably break 300. But think about it, a Star Wars movie, the first Star Wars movie in 7 years, mind you, could not break or barely cross 300 million at the box office. That ties into the Masters of the Universe thing. Well, kind of, because, one, Mandalorian Grogu is, no one cares about it no more. Masters of the Universe is unfortunate because it's actually a good movie. Most people liked it. What it seems like anyway. Like my video, I got tons of comments, which I was not really expecting. I was getting comments from people of all ages, there was one comment of people saying, there's one guy saying, oh, I haven't been in the theater in a couple of decades. This was the first movie I went to because I love the cartoon, and that's awesome. For a movie to do that, oh dude, that is awesome. And it's unfortunate that it bombed because it tells us a few things. One, it tells us that minimize this, that these type of fun adventure movies don't do well. So that's one negative. So we probably won't get those no more. And the second one is, which this is kind of Hollywood's fault also, and that is what Masters of the Universe is. Let's be honest, it's a toy line they made into a cartoon to sell toys from the 80s, which is that's Gen X? Yeah, Gen X. So almost 40 years old. Yeah, almost a 40-year-old franchise that, I think I saw a stat a couple of days ago that only 11% of the audience that went this past weekend was under the age of 18. So for a franchise to be survive healthily, you need to bring in the youth. You can't just rely on the older people. And this movie, because of what Masters of the Universe is, it sadly fell victim to that, where it relied on an older demographic. And that's great, like, once in a while. Like, you could have something like Top Gun Maverick, which came out, decades after the original. The original fans came in, but it's also a good movie, so it brought new fans in. So I was hoping Master Universe would be something kind of like that, where it would bring, I guess, the different cohorts of fans together, and apparently it seems like it's not, which is unfortunate. And like the Tyler video says, like, it's Hollywood's fault. One, they didn't market it correctly. Like, I mean, what He-Man is, they should have. Oh God, how can I say this? I don't want to say like Gen Z-ify the marketing, but like try to do. I know they did a little bit with like the main actor Nicholas, like singing like the He-Man, like with the wig on. I know he did that, which, okay, that's something to like, get in front of the kids, the iPad kids. But I just wish they did a little bit more, because what this bombing means is not just old 80 movies, 80s cartoons from the past coming into big budget movies, but like just fun, heartwarming movies aren't gonna do well. And on that topic of heartwarming movies, like Master Universe, yes, had a heartwarming feel, but also Project Hail Mary did, and that came out a few months ago, and everybody loved that, and it made almost 700 million at this point. So I think if you market it correctly, they could have, I guess, recouped, the budget, which, I mean, at this point, like, it's made 54 million, 55 round up, out of 200, and needs 400 break even. Like, this is not going to turn a profit unless the second weekend comes up this upcoming weekend, just blows the first weekend out of the water. But unfortunately, I don't see that happening. The reason why I tagged Star Wars into this, because it's under the same umbrella, really, and that is how Hollywood has burned the audience so many times. And also with Master Universe, like, there were like what was it, like, the director came out and said, like, before the movie came out, like, oh, Skeletor was an embodiment of toxic masculinity, and then the actress that played Teela, who thankfully from the comments on my video was not the girl from Scream, that was a different girl. The chick that played Teela was from a show called Riverdale, so that was my apologies. I made a comment on the last video correcting that, so thank you for the reviewer who commented that. But she made some comments about how Teela's affected by her father's masculinity or something like that. I don't remember the exact quote. And it's like, okay, I don't think it's the actors and the director. Like, I don't think it's their actual thoughts. I think it's the marketing team of the studio who told them to say that, like, publicly, which is, it's crazy. It's like, why would you say that? Like, don't they know? Oh, I shouldn't. I was gonna say, don't they know it's gonna tank the results? But I mean, they probably so stupid they don't know, because it's the same thing that happened with the Fantastic Four movie last year, like the First Step one, where they were like, oh, Johnny Storm's gonna be a he's not gonna be a womanizer like he was in the in the past, and like Sue Storm's the de facto leader. And then you watch the movie and like both those things weren't true. So it's like, okay, you already have the audience kind of turned against you, and you're trying to bring them in, and so you what's the word? You deliberately misguide them. Like, why would, and turn them away even more? Like, what's going on in these marketing teams? That is the stupidest way to sell a product.
No shit.
Another reason why I think Master Universe failed is the budget. Like, 200 million for a He-Man movie? I mean, come on, man. You could have did 100 million tops, maybe even 50 if you did it right. But it goes into the same thing of like, every movie has to be big, 200 million. Like, you can't make a mid-budget movie anymore? Like, what happened to those? And for the last point I want to say is what this kind of says for the bigger overall picture. So we have Master Universe, which is gonna underperform a lot. Mandalorian and Grogu underperform a lot. And at the end of this month, we have Supergirl coming out, which, let's be honest, that is not gonna do well. I think they said it had like a budget of 160. Like, okay, but it's only tracking to open to like 50 million, opening weekend, which is, oh, dude, that is bad, especially for a superhero movie. So that's 3 high-profile flops within a month. So what is that going to tell the overall like studio machine? Granted, we have the new Spielberg movie coming out in a couple days, so I mean, I'm gonna be interested to see how that does. Maybe, hopefully, it doesn't completely bomb, but you never know nowadays. But with for sure the first three, Mandalorian, Grogu, Master Universe, Supergirl, which yes, Supergirl's not out yet, but let's be honest, that shit's gonna bomb. What is this gonna tell Hollywood? Like, they spent all this money on these three films. Granted, one of them is objectively a good film. Supergirl, we'll wait to see, but let's be honest, it's probably not gonna be good. So we have 1 out of 3 that was, people liked, but it still bombed. So because it lost money, they're not gonna care if you liked it or not. Okay, we lost money, so unfortunately, it's business. So I mean, I don't on that hand, I don't blame them because like I said, it's business. It just sucks because when we get a good movie like Master of the Universe, like nobody goes out to see it, and it's all Hollywood's fault. For the last 10 years, they've been diverting the public, with shows and movies, inserting their all horse shit that they want to shove down our throats. Most people don't agree with it, and so when we do get a genuinely good movie, nobody goes to see it. Partly because yes, it's He-Man, an older franchise, but yes, that's part of it. The other part is people have been burned so many times. They're like, okay, is this one gonna be like the other ones? To the general public, it does. I mean, for people online, like us, we know the difference. We actually see the movies, but the general public does not. And unfortunately, it ends with results like this. And I don't see this trend being fixed anytime soon, unfortunately. So I guess let's just leave it there. What are you guys' thoughts? What do you guys think? Were the reasons Master Universe bombed? Comment below, let me know, and please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.